Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back for the 8th episode of the DNAnime Podcast. It's your boy, a beautiful crow, and I'm here with my co-host, Dick Seal, and we are here to talk about some amazing anime topics. Hopefully, you guys have been enjoying the podcast. Hopefully, you guys are having a good time joining in on the conversation. I've been seeing some conversations. I saw you responded to some comments on the YouTube channel. So again, if you guys want to continue,
I was excited about that, getting some comments down there.
Yeah. Enemy. Yeah, no, I'm happy, man. Again, we love talking about this because we're passionate about it. But at the same time, we want y'all to be joining in the conversation as well. Because again, it's not just a one-sided argumente over here. Everybody can get in where you fit in. But yeah, we are back with the DNAnime Podcast. And our first topic of the day will be our favorite voice actors. Now, when you're an anime fan, or depending on your era, right? Because I feel like during like the early aughts of anime, there were like a small pool of voice actors you were just hearing everything. So everybody kind of gravitated to like a voice that they were always hearing their favorite shows. There are a bunch of amazing, talented, incredible voice actors in anime, whether sub and dubbed, and we're going to talk about a few of them. One of our favorites. So I'm honestly going to throw this over to you, Vix, because I mean we've all heard about your favorite.
I was ready. I saw it in the list. I was like, I know exactly. I got 2 in the bank. Actually, I got 3. But I'm gonna preface everything by saying, if they have done something fucking off the wall, we don't condone all that crazy shit. This is going to be specifically off of their ability of being a voice actor.
Yeah.
So I bring that up because I don't know the status of the English voice actor for Edward Elric.
Yeah, Vic Mignogna.
He was like one of my favorites, and then I heard that he might have been doing some crazy shit, and I don't know what the current status of that is. So I was like, he's good. I don't know what he did, but he was good voice actor at the time. But we're gonna talk about my all-time favorite #1 voice actor. I will watch anything that he is in. It is Yoshitsugu Matsuoka. He's the Japanese voice actor for Kirito, the Japanese voice actor for Soma from Food Wars, Bell Crannel from Danmachi, Inosuke from Demon Slayer, bunch of other ones. He's all over the place. I've caught him being like extras. I've caught him being supporting characters. I've caught him being main characters. He's everywhere. He has such a unique growl. A lot of really good voice actors, their strength lies in their range. His range doesn't change much from character to character. He's kind of got like a pin on the type of character that he can really do, but nobody can do it like him. The way that he does his battle sequences is just so perfect, and the way that he can portray exertion is so unique that you can't hear it from anybody else. You can hear it in the way that his voice rumbles as he's doing his screams. It is unlike anybody else that I've heard in any other anime, and that's why I can both spot him anywhere, and because it's so good, I feel the urge that I just need to keep watching it. There was one that I wasn't even going to watch because it sounded really generic, and then I watched the first episode and I was like, there he is. And then I watched the rest of the season and was like, that was actually pretty good.
I was about to say, do you remember the anime?
It was, I got a cheat skill in another world.
I got a cheat ski.
I got a cheat skill in another world, and it made me overpowered, I think it was called. It was it's not too old. It was it's 3 or 4 seasons old at this point.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, that was recent, I believe, because I was like, I remember it.
All right, Chad, don't be roasting me for that.
Yeah. I had to point it out. But no, again, I've watched a bunch of anime with him in it, and he's an incredible voice actor. I will say, because I've been watching Danmachi subbed after episode 4 or whatever, when you're just like, no, you need to watch the sub. My favorite voice actor's in this. And I was like, all right, I will. And I will say my favorite thing that he does with Bell is Bell's weird fucking noises he just does.
Yeah, his sound effects are so good.
He'll just scream, and I'm just like, why is he making that noise?
But it's so perfect though. It's
very distinct.
Yeah, right. That's the term, distinct. And then I sent you the English one afterwards, and I was like, you try to tell me that this is as good as it was when he did it.
See, okay, so I will defend dubs, and I have some dub voice actors on my list as well.
I don't have
My
anything
first voice
against
actor-
dubs. It's just like
Yeah.
all my favorite voice actors are in Japanese, so
Oh, but I was bringing it up to pretty much preface to say that shit was 100% better. And since Japanese are like, oh my god, that moment gave me goosebumps. And again, we talked about it.
No, it was so good.
Why? Okay, so this is one thing. This is a little off topic, but kind of still on topic because it's the voice actor in this character, right? But why in Danmachi do they save all the budget for when he fights the fucking Minotaur? Because the first fight was fucking sick, and then when the Black Minotaur comes back and they have the cool fight, he knocks Bell up in the sky,
And he's like all
everything do,
fucking
a big
contorted
charge.
and shit.
Yeah, I was like Fish Islands. I was like, what the? They
Because
save all the
they
animation
saved
budget.
all of the like combat budget for like defining moments. Like, well, I think all the fights did good. I don't think they skimmed on the budget anywhere. When the party
Minotaur
broke
fights are
off
just
and had to
different.
have their own fight, that was epic.
That was sick.
When they had to fight Apollo's family and what's her name used the gravity spell, that was fucking sick. I don't think they really skimped anywhere on there, but it was like they really buckled down on it. They went the same route that I think My Hero tried to go, but they basically expanded on it, where My Hero had very long fights, but it was usually decided in 1 or 2 hits, whereas in Danmachi the fights feel more like a conversation, and it's like the fights themselves are like telling you the story of how he's growing, which is fucking wild. It's like as he's doing all these things, you can feel it in like how he expresses the combat, and it was like this. The animators went off on all these. It was absolutely wild.
I love how they foreshadow Bell's growth. I love how he's like constantly working towards his goal. And again, Yoshisugu Matsuda.
I'll say I have to look up his name every now and then, even though he's my favorite, because he can't just have like a fucking easy name like Oda or or Kubo. It's got to be 85 syllables long, my guy. Give me a nickname.
But yeah, he's amazing, and it's one of the reasons why Bell resonates so much. Like, he's a fantastic voice actor. Again, he's great as Kirito. He's great as, I mean, a lot of his characters. I mean, I have a little list up. I mean, you named a ton of them, but he's Soma from Food Wars. He's Inosuke. Like, and I love Inosuke's like voice in Japanese. Like, it's one of the reasons why the English stuff for me don't hit, because his voice in Japanese is so good. I'm just like, I want the guttural growl. I want the big yelling shit. Like, Inosuke sounds so cool.
I don't think
he's a very
like
goofy
after
character.
hearing Inosuke in Japanese with specifically his voice, I don't think I could accept any other voice actor. I don't think Inosuke would have been good as anybody else. It's like I can't imagine anybody else being able to hit the like guttural rasp of how Inosuke is now. Like he just chef's kiss.
It's so good. It's
so good.
But yeah, so I will now go on my first voice actor, which will be on the opposite end. It will be a English voice actor. One of my favorite voice actors of all time is Johnny Young Bosch. I love Johnny Young Bosch. He's the English voice actor for Ichigo. He's the English voice actor for Vash from Vash the Stampede. Or from Vash Stampede. He's Vash the Stampede from Trigun.
Actually, Matsuoka is the voice actor for Japanese Trigun Vash the Stampede. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, because he's also good in that. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't watched a lot. I haven't watched a lot of Trigun in Japanese because I watched it back in the day on Adult Swim. Trigun is fucking amazing. It's so good. And the thing is like Johnny Young Bosch does such an amazing job. Like, I don't like, there's no delineation to me, really, when it comes to, like, because I've been to a bunch of different anime conventions, right? And I watch a bunch of panels from voice actors who are, in the English dubbing scene. And they always say, like, a lot of people don't credit English voice actors as actors. They have to make that delineation where it's like, oh, it's actors that are in movies and TV shows. And then there's voice actors. I that's like a whole battle that voice actors have been going through for, like, years. And I will say 100%. Johnny Young Bosch is one of the best actors he's one of my favorite actors, and there's no delay. Like, he's so fucking good, dude. He's amazing. I love him as Vash in the serious moments, in the goofy moments, when he's pronouncing Vash's full 17, long name. Like, he's incredible. Like, he's fantastic in everything that I see. Again, we always talked about it, especially that conversation when Solo Leveling was coming out, where everybody was like, "Oh, this moment has to hit. This moment has to hit. It needs to be his Bankai moment." Bankai hits in Japanese and in English. When Johnny Young Bosch says,
he did a very good job on
Bankai!
Ichigo. I typically I don't have an issue with dub, but I typically don't watch the dub. There's a lot of like other things that make me not want to watch dub. Usually the show like stops airing before the dub catches up, and that's one thing I just want to avoid. But like when I first started watching Bleach on Toonami back in the day, like in English, Bleach was fucking rock solid. I didn't have an issue with any of the characters. He fit Ichigo like almost perfectly.
Dude, I don't know if it was just me, but I feel like the Bleach dub and the Naruto dub did a really good job of not necessarily matching the Japanese voices, but making it feel authentic with the characters.
They matched the characters they were voicing.
Yeah.
Back when like the big three was prominent was like when that's when a lot of the voice actors felt like they were trying to be the character, and now it feels like they're trying to be the Japanese voice actor, and they're not playing to their own strengths for the most part. So a lot of the time they just like feel off the mark because they're trying to mimic the wrong thing, and that's where a lot of the dub falls short. Now there are some that are good in English. I don't really know what they are because I've almost fully stopped watching dub because it's just so much easier to find sub now.
What dub have I been watching recently? So Classroom Elite, I'm really enjoying. I think Classroom Elite does a really good job. I love the My Hero dub. You know, that might not be like a popular
My Hero
thing.
dub was all right.
I love the My Hero dub. Like, I love it. Like, I think that, I don't know who voices Bakugo. I'm not as in touch. Like, I used to like know all the voice actors.
Bakugo made me feel uncomfortable in English though, so I was like,
well, I mean, he is a piece of shit. He just constantly like, kill yourself. But no, like Johnny Young Bosch is amazing. He's one of my favorite voice actors. It's always a treat getting to see him in any show that I'm watching. It was really cool that we got Stampede and getting him back with Trigun Stampede. It was awesome to get the Trigun Badlands film, to get him back for that. Again, I'm happy that Bleach is back as well, because I love Bleach and it's cool to get to see him be Ichigo again. Again, he's always been one of my favorite voice actors. He's just incredible, and he's been doing this for a long time. He was Kaneda from fucking Akira back in the 90s / like late 80s or whatever. Like, so good. He's the reason why. Okay, so I'm looking at a list of his characters. He was Genma Shirinu, the fucking straw chewing ninja, like tuning exam practitioner guy or whatever.
That one guy, but not the other two guys.
Yeah, the one guy, but not the other two forgettable guys that are always around. Like, he's the reason why I love that character, because that character doesn't do shit. But Johnny Young Bosch's performance is so good. I was like, oh, he wanted to make
the only time that character does anything is when he puts the one finger on Neji's headband. That's it. When he gets jumped by the Jonins.
He like talks to somebody like in the street every now and again in like a filler episode. That's about it. But he's so good that he made me love that character. He's a nothing character, and that speaks to his talent as a voice actor. So, Vix, who's your next voice actor on your list?
My next voice actor is actually going to be, was mentioned in the chat, Kenjiro Tsuda. I believe that's the man that did Nanami from JJK. He has like the very deep voice. It's very impactful. It's just like, he doesn't like his range isn't massive, but the characters that he does, they just like spear you right in the soul. Nanami. Let's see, who else did he do? I know he did a whole bunch.
Okay, why you go to Gugeo? I just want to say Nanami is my favorite character in JJK, 100% to do with just how he's written as a character, because he resonates with me. I'm old, right? I work in corporate America. And it feels so real. We're just like, you're younger, you're like, I want to follow my passion. I'm gonna do this thing. It doesn't work out. You're like, all right, well, time to hit the fucking corporate grind. And then you're just like, this shit is terrible. It's soul destroyed. I'd rather risk it all doing something I'm passionate about. And Nanami, I would say, like, they give this man so much love and so much care in season 2 of JJK. Oh my God, he's awesome. Oh, Nanami's the best, dude. Nanami's the best.
So all of the other ones that are like notable to me are Joker from Fire Force.
Yeah.
He did do Kaiba in the Japanese one, but I didn't watch the Japanese one. So
Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kaiba's great.
He was Overhaul in My Hero. He
Hey!
was Slave in Genshin Impact,
Oh, I didn't play enough Genshin.
and he was Orsted from Jobless Reincarnation. He's also the mentor to Denji in Chainsaw Man. Kishibe?
Oh, yeah. Dude, Kishibe, again, I know everybody makes fun of the Makima's listening panel, but I love Kishibe's character so much. He's so good. But that panel is hilarious with all the memes.
But yeah, he plays all of the like
Old man.
Like not even just like the old men, but it's the mentor-esque ones.
Yeah.
Except for like Overhaul, because Overhaul just like is villainous. So like he has a very standoffish tone.
He has a voice that commands like
there it is. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It commands like respect, power, discipline, things like that. And like all the characters that he does, it almost seems like he was specifically made for those roles, or those roles were made specifically for him. They're so good. I don't think I've seen him do anything where he didn't just like absolutely hit the mark. There's two on here that I know you will probably recognize at least one of them. Mm-hmm. The other one is very noticeable in the anime community. There is Nicholas from Gangsta.
Dude, nobody talks about Gangsta.
Nobody talks about Gangsta.
The manga's so good, the anime's not that great.
First of all, the name is probably not doing it any favors. It doesn't help it. Like, there's nothing there that makes me want to watch it based on the name.
What it gotta be? I was a criminal in a city.
Like, it's just not very interesting.
Pie.
Like, I've seen 10 million anime where it's based on
Hitman
Reborn is all about the Italian mafia already. It's like, I've already seen gangsta stuff.
Yeah, but I love gangster stuff. So I was like, yeah. But no, Nicholas is awesome. Also, if he does Nicholas's character thing is that he's deaf. So he has to do like a different kind of voice to portray that he's a character that can't heal. And that's very interesting because I watch Gangster in Japanese. But yeah, Nicholas' character, he got black hair or whatever. He is deaf in the show. So in the English dub, they kind of do a voice where, you know, it portrays that he's hard of hearing, or not hard of hearing, but actually deaf. I don't know if that really translates in the Japanese dub, but I remember Nicholas because I watched in Japanese and I watched a little bit of his dub. The sub is amazing. Like, he sounds cool as shit, as always. Again, he's not a me. But yeah, he does a really, really good job because Nicholas is just cool as hell. But yeah, that is one of the major character traits. I want to go back and listen to it, see if he does anything special for that character, because that is like a whole point, is that he can't hear.
I have kind of a soft spot for characters that are like specifically deaf, but like disabled. When they are portrayed as like not totally useless, those are like the best characters. So if dude is a gangsta swordsman and he's deaf, I'm like, I might want to go back and rewatch that. I don't even think I got to the part where they explain that.
Yeah, he like, he's so cool, and I love how they kind of like break it down. Like, they don't treat him like he's fucking Daredevil.
Yeah.
Or just like, he can hear through the walls because of vibration, like he's tough or something like that. Like,
he's like just a dude. He's like just a guy.
He just adapts because he can't hear. And then I forget the other character's name, but the white haired dude with long hair with the eye patch. It's been a long time since I read Gangsta, but his partner or whatever is like very supportive of him and like explaining to people like, he cannot hear you. You know, like I think Gangster is great. I think Gangster is fantastic. I didn't finish the manga and I fell off the anime, but I enjoyed it so much. It was like a rare find. But anyway, the voice actor.
It's funny that I actually brought up Hitman Reborn. He was actually in that too.
Wait, who's he in Katekiyoshi?
I don't remember the guy. I don't remember this guy. Lambo? I don't remember Lambo.
Oh, wait, how the fuck was he? Lambo's the stupid little cow kid, the lamb kid with the little afro.
Yeah, he's got the little cow print like suit on. Yeah, I don't.
Was he Lambo when he aged up? There's no way he was Lambo because Lambo has like a fucking chopper voice.
Hitman. I think I read Hitman, so that's why I don't recognize that or him as
There's
that
no
voice.
Way. But I'm gonna have to look this up now.
But the other character that is like prominent in the community is his name is Tatsu. He's from Way of the House Husband. He's the husband that stays home and it's like in the mafia or whatever, in whatever gang he's a part of.
Yeah, I wanted to read that because I saw the animated adaptation.
It looks so stupid. Like I want to watch it or read it because it looks so dumb.
It's very, very comedic. But I was reading Sakamoto Days at the same time.
Oh, his birthday's like June 11th. He's right there with us.
Hey, like literally right. Fellow Gemini, that's why.
Yeah, I knew we felt something.
I knew something about
Right, yeah.
the
Let's go
location
on
that
with
wouldn't
your
give you a
second
trick.
one. What is your follow-up, runner-up
All right.
voice actor?
So my runner-up voice actor. So actually, I want to look up something because I want to bring up a pivotal voice actors for anybody who was a fan of anime in the States. This voice actor, Steve Blum, will be a huge part of your childhood. Not only is he a voice actor in different animes, he is the voice of Tom from Toonami.
Oh, I
He's the
thought
pivotal voice.
so.
Yes,
I was like,
he's the voice.
I was like, the name is familiar. I'm like, where do I know that name from? Toonami Tom.
Yes, he is Toonami Tom. He's been doing anime for a long time, as well as a bunch of different shows and animation projects and video games. Steve Blum is everywhere. His voice is so distinctive. He's also Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. You know, a little through line throughout the podcast episodes. Fuck you. But no, he's Spike Spiegel. He was Mugen from Samurai Champloo. Also another amazing anime that's like really fun and really short.
I
love
really
Samurai
enjoyed
Champloo.
Samurai Champloo.
It's so
I did
good.
not think I
love-
was gonna like it that much, but when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, I wish there was more of this. This is kind of sick.
It's so sick. I wish it was more too. But like Steve Blum's like gravelly low voice is just so fucking cool. Like he started out his voice acting career because I've been to a bunch of different conventions where he's been like a panelist, and he talks about how he started out. He was just working as like an audio technician, and they needed somebody to do a voice for monsters. And I guess like one of his coworkers was like, "Oh, Steve, he can like do like deep, monster noises," and they just brought him in. And that's kind of like how he started off being a voice actor. And then from there, he's been, Spike Spiegel. He's Zabuza from Naruto. He's so many like pivotal. He's so
is
good.
so good.
Again, his performance is like not only is Zabuza just an amazing character, but his performance is so amazing in Naruto, dude. Like I was so ecstatic when Zabuza comes back because like I get to hear Steve Blum as Zabuza again, and it's so good.
Yeah, that
Like,
whole scene was like really sad though, because it was like Zabuza comes back and he can ask all these questions about like how the
Like,
guy,
what
the kid who
happened?
beat him, how is he doing? How long has it been?
Yeah,
What
dude.
happened with the bridge? Then the bridge scene was like so like impactful. Like it really hit you right in the gut. And
Because how
he
good
fucking
Zabuza is.
nailed it for his voice
Yeah.
acting. That was
It's so
like
good, dude.
going back to it. This is back when the people, they voiced the character, not the other language's voice actor. I think Zabuza's English voice actor is probably better than the Japanese. He hit that
Like-
so perfectly. And
He's so
there's
good.
just no way. Like every time I ever think back to the bridge scene where Haku was dead and he was telling Naruto to shut up, it's always the English one that resonates. It's like I always
Yep.
think about how he spoke in English. Even Naruto in English, both as a kid and as a teenager, were really good.
Yeah, I think the Naruto dub is amazing. I think the dub and the sub, they're both fantastic to me. And it's really good because I was able to enjoy both because I watched both depending on how I just felt, or whatever I get my hands on. Because at some point I was like, I can't wait for the dub because back in my day, there weren't no simulcast. We had to wait years for shit to come out. I was like, fuck it, I'm watching the sub. But also to kind of speak about Steve Blum's, like, not only is he just an amazing, cool, like, because he's the first villain, Amon, from Legend of Korra as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the deep voice, like first, like I'm taking, like he's taking everybody's
Oh,
business away
yeah.
and shit.
I didn't even think
He's
about
so
it.
fucking cool.
I was like, Amon had a really good voice too. I didn't even think about it. It didn't even strike me as like familiar at the time. But now that you say that,
yep, he's Amon. He's
Yep.
also, to speak about his vocal range, he's Orochimaru as well. So think about Orochimaru's voice compared to Zabuza's and how different they are and how good they are in both cases.
That's pretty
I
impressive.
love Orochimaru's voice. Yeah,
Orochimaru,
I was
yeah.
like, he's so fucking talented. Like his bass voice is super fucking sick, and on top of that, he also has vocal range. So he could be, because he's also like what's his name, Starscream in a lot of the Transformers adaptations.
Oh, I straight up didn't
And
watch those.
Starscream, yeah, I'm bringing it up because it's just like Starscream is just like, yeah, Megatron, and he's like all high pitched. And then you hear Steve Blum as Tom. He's just like, hey, everybody, we coming down for Toonami. And it's like all deep and shit. Like, he's incredibly talented. And that's why he's one of my favorite voice actors. Because he's just like, he has such a distinctive style, but he also has like an incredible
Really
range.
cemented himself in everybody's subconscious. Like you don't even
Oh.
like he's just like there all the time. You're
He's
just like,
one of the best, man.
you're like, wait, is that? He's
But
here.
again,
He's returned.
his voice always sticks out, and it's always incredible. So it's always good to see him whenever he pops up in something. Steve Blum's amazing. He's hands down one of my favorite English dub voice actors. Who's your next voice actor, Vix?
So I don't actually know her name. I just know that I recognize her all over the place. I have to look it up because I know the one instance. This is a female voice actor, a Japanese voice actor. The one instance that I like really recognize it was in I'm a Spider, So What?
Oh yeah.
And I can't remember who she does.
But yeah, I remember when the I'm a Spider, So What came out.
I was ready for that show to be dumb as hell. And every time that they didn't show the spider on screen, I was like, man, fuck this show. Give me back the spider.
Yeah, that was the thing that kind of sold me. I didn't watch it, but I kind of wrote it off as just like, oh, it was just an isekai or whatever.
Just the spider. So they kept like splitting it between, because it was like her whole class got reincarnated, but everybody got separated. So they're like the heroes are trying to find all of the people that got reincarnated, and she's like off in fucking Monsterland wherever. And every time they flipped over to the heroes, I was like, I do not give a shit. Go back. Like there was no part of it that I was like, dude, I want to watch the heroes. I was like, no, fuck the heroes. Spider chick, Aoi Yuki. She is.
What other characters did she play?
Let's see. She is one of the daughters from Demon Slayer. That's definitely not where I knew her from. She's Gina she's from Undead Unluck. She's Gina.
Wait, the I've been reading Undead Unluck.
Unchanged girl. She's Deanna from Seven Deadly.
Okay.
Spy Classroom. She's Monica. Probably haven't seen that one. From Bleach's 1,000-Year Blood War arc. She's one of the short-haired blonde Quincy. Lil Toto Lampard.
I don't know. They announced so many Quincy's just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, however the fuck you say their names. What was there was one, she was fucking Eevee in Pokemon. What was the one? There was one specific connection that I like made when I heard it. She's Froppy from My Hero.
Oh, I love Froppy's voice in the sub.
She's Tamaki from Fire Force.
Hey, sorry for shitting on Tamaki so much, but she's a good voice actress.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no problem with her voice. It's the character design that they did that they fucked up. She's Lumine from Genshin Impact. Who would be the one that I'm like? I don't remember who the like main connection was that I made.
It wasn't.
When I heard it. I literally, when she came on screen, I was like, that is extremely familiar. I'm like, what do I know that from? And I did the same thing that I'm doing right now, where I'm just like scrolling down the list. I'm like, where the fuck do I know this character from?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's got to be Deanna. That's the only one I can think of that like really I would know that well because of how much I read a lot of Seven Deadly, and I was super hype about it. And after season 1 of Seven Deadly, I was like, yo, this is the fucking jam. Season 2 was pretty good, and then I was mad at season 3 because it was like a 4-episode filler season sort of. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna let it pass. They did something weird there, but I'm gonna let it pass. And then they went to season 4, which is Seven Deadly Frames, and I was like, that's it, it's over, rip.
Damn.
never get recommended again.
Tatsumaki from One Punch Man, which is great. I believe Tatsumaki is Terrible Tornado.
I didn't watch it. I only watched season 1 of One Punch Man, so I was like, that wasn't it.
No, okay.
She's Yuki. She is from Sword Art. She is the purple-haired one that teaches Asuna the like special moves.
Wait, she's from the more recent season, right? Because I remember people telling me her whole backstory.
Not Alicization, but the one before that wasn't Gun Gale. I don't remember specifically. This one just says the video game. I don't remember which season she was from.
Okay, some season. Sure we'll have.
She's Pascal from Nier Automata. If you've ever played that.
Oh, really? Dude, oh my god. Nier Automata is fucking amazing. So she's Pascal, the leader of the like robot.
Yeah, the
village.
little robo dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tanya from the Saga of Tanya the Evil.
Oh yeah. Watch it. Okay. So she's everybody's favorite.
She was in a silent voice. She was the little sister.
She was a little sister.
It seems like she was.
I need to watch the silent voice.
It had to have even been. Oh, it was. This is the character. It was the vampire queen from Seraph of the End, Cruel Tempest. that was immediately the one that I recognized that like Seraph at the end didn't get enough coverage. Like it was really fucking good. It's so fucking okay. So the anime I think is over. They kind of pulled their own bullshit ending. I actually thought that was it, and then like a couple of months ago, I found out Seraph at the end was still going. So I started reading it. It's monthly now, and it is like so. It is so long. From it took me forever to catch up. Like every chapter was like 50 pages, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
Ulu from League of Legends?
I started reading Seraph at the end because I was like, oh, vampire stuff. I like vampire stuff. And then I don't know why, but I keep stopping reading it. Like I'll read like the first couple of chapters.
It just takes so long. It's so fucking hard to read. I don't know what. Like I love it. I love every second of reading it, but it's just like there's just like so much going on that it's kind of suffering from the same thing that One Piece is suffering from for me, where reading it is almost a chore right now because there's so much happening. Like
it is. I feel like
every time I go to read it, I feel like I have to be like, okay, I have to like activate my brain power to fully comprehend each word that they're saying because there's like 10 million representations for every fucking scene.
Well, my thing with One Piece is that I have to watch it or I have to read it on my tablet or my PC. Because like trying to read it on Shonen Jump app on my phone, Oda packs so much shit.
Yeah,
like
I have to like zoom in and shit, and I'm like, what the hell is even
so much shit happening? It's awesome. It's incredible.
Like
again, the man's
you
legend.
lose so much of it when you try to read it on your phone. Like characters will just pop up, and I'll be like, who the fuck was that? And they're like, oh, this guy from like 4 chapters back, he was in this panel, and I'm like, what? I did not see that guy.
Oda's an insane man.
But yeah, she did really good. She is like one of the first female voice actors that I could like connect to another person, because I don't do very good with like vocal recognition. A lot of it, like audio tends to like bleed together for me, so a lot of it doesn't like sound different to me. So it's very difficult unless it is like extremely unique, like how Belle or Nanami are. Like there's no other character like them. They are those characters. So this was the first one that wasn't just like insanely unique, that still stood out enough for me to like even hear it, and I was like, that's rare.
Yeah, no.
So she did a very good job in all the ones that she was in. I didn't even know that she was Gina. Looking at it now, Gina was good. Pascal was new to me. It had to have been, yeah, it was definitely the Vampire Queen and Deanna that definitely were the ones that like stood out the most. And when I heard her in the Spider one, which is weird because she's like not in the list here.
Yeah, because I would say I was like the spider and spider isekai. I don't know what it's called. I'm a spider, so what or whatever.
Spider isekai is probably fine.
that was the main draw like for the show. Because I feel like I didn't really care about it, but I heard like the voice of the character.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, she's insane. Like I love it.
Yeah, when she does her like little fights, she doesn't like lose the funny playfulness that is in like the character's well-being. So it, like she really fit into the character again. Definitely made like a lot of the fights that were like super tense. Like they were still really tense, but you never felt like she lost character when she was doing it. She was very good at keeping her composure through the voices. But yeah. So what will be your third one?
So my last voice actor is going to be a Japanese voice actor who I think is incredible, amazing. It is Takehito Yoyasu. I had to make sure I got that right. So he's the voice actor of Dio Brando in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh,
again, he's so fucking cool.
I mean, I'll agree with you. I watched JoJo's all the way up to Stone Ocean Part 1. So Dio's voice was like, every character in there was like, they were so over the top, but they were so good. I loved it.
So sick.
I really wanted to watch Stone Ocean Part 2, and I literally just forgot to like catch up one time, and I was like, oh fuck, because I didn't realize that it was airing until it was like 8 episodes in, and I was like, oh no, because what's her name, Jolene, her like version of Star Platinum, I feel like is way more interesting than like Josuke's, where Josuke's was just like punch hard, punch fast, can't be stopped. Hers like turns things into thread, and I was like, that's different. That's like quite different. So I was really excited to see where they went with that, and I was like, no, I forgot to watch it. Fuck.
It's one of my favorite things about JoJo's is just how creative they can get with the stand powers. I know
Yeah.
they get more insane. Like I'm in part 4, I'm behind, but even in part 4, like the stand powers, like Okuyatsu's power to just erase space in between things.
And it's terrible because he's awful.
He's an idiot.
He sucks. His power is so good, and all he does is lose.
Yeah, his power is fucking broken to hell, but he's a fucking idiot, so he can't use it well, and I love it. Stuff like that is really fun. But yeah, he's obviously like that's his most known voice is Dio. He's also Roswell L. Mathers from ReZero, so like the weird magic, house guy that's kind of like he had the big mental battle with Subaru. He's like, if you can't figure out how to do this shit with these bunnies, then I'm not gonna help you. But he's the Roswell who has like all the makeup and shit. Yeah. He's Roswell. He's fucking Kuzan from One Piece. Iceman. He's a lot of he's a lot of very important and very amazing characters, and his voice is so distinct and so fucking sick.
I knew the Roswald. I knew that I knew his voice actor from like all over the place. And I never just like connected it to anybody. I was like, I don't know who that is. I just know that I know him from other places.
Dude, Roswell is so weird because again, kind of talking about vocal range. Roswald and Dio are totally different voices. Like Dio voice is like so low and guttural, whereas Roswell's is so playful and weird how he talks when he's like fucking around with Subaru and stuff like that. Like especially in the early episodes of ReZero, which ReZero is coming back soon.
Who else did that? Who else did something like that?
There's a couple of them, but he's like such an amazing, prolific, like because Kuzan's voice is as deep as well in One Piece. But like Dio's is totally fucking different. Like it's crazy. But he's been around. He's been a voice actor in anime for an incredibly long time. From oh shit. Okay, I'm looking at other characters that he's been in a bunch of Gundam shows as well. Turn 8 Gundam.
Was this the Japanese voice actor or the English one?
Yeah, he's Japanese. So he's Scar's brother in Fullmetal Alchemist. So his brother who was like trying to figure out all the shit that gets murked, and Scar takes his arm and shit like that. Like he's Scar's brother who doesn't get a lot of screen time, but is fucking awesome.
Oh my god, he's the fucking from the 1,000-Year Blood War arc in Bleach. He's the weird Arankar with the like drape over one of his eyes.
Oh yeah!
Pesce.
Oh, he's the fucking dick around. Oh,
he's the little weird one.
Again, vocal range. You wouldn't think that's Dio. I didn't realize that was him. That's one of my favorite moments in Bleach where he jumps out.
It's like
and then like
buried
the
in
number
the sand.
5. Yeah, he's like the number 5 Arankar's like staring at him. And then he like reaches into like his loincloth and he like grabs the hilt of his sword and it looks like he's grabbing his dick. And they just like keep cutting back to the Arankar. He's just like, what the fuck is he doing? And he pulls out his sword. Ah, so good.
Oh, he's Toji from JJK.
Is he?
Yeah.
Dude, Toji's
he's
one of my
Jade
favorite
from
characters.
Tales of Abyss.
Oh my god. See? Amazing. He's in video games. He's in anime. He's everywhere. I love Toji. My brother! Dude. Toji's one of my favorite characters. I know I was blazing up Nanami because Nanami is also one of my favorite characters.
My brother is Todo. Toji is Fushiguro's.
That's even better actually because okay, this is okay. So why I want to bring this up is I got the names mixed up, but Toji is fucking like his sub voice is so good that it pisses me off that his dub voice isn't as cool because Toji Fushiguro in the Japanese dub, like his voice is so deep and awesome. Obviously now that I know that this guy does Jotaro's voice, but he sounds so cool. And for some reason in the dub, he sounds like a fucking dork. And I feel like, and this is just a me thing, he sounds so lame. Like if you listen to his dub voice, he like has no bass whatsoever in his voice. He just sounds like lame when he's like in the sub. He sounds so cool.
There's
and
just
I feel
like
like
no pressure there.
Yeah, like he's like this overwhelming force, and he just sounds like I don't know who his and again I don't think it's a bad like dub. I just don't think for me personally he fits the character. Not trying to shit on anybody's performance, but I just think his voice doesn't fit the character. Like I feel like they should have swapped Geto's voice with Toji's. I feel like Geto's voice fits more for Toji in the English dub, and they could have been flipped that way. Like give Toji to Suguru Geto, and then give Geto's voice to Toji. At least in my head, it just makes more sense that way for me. I think it sounds better for me. But yeah, his Japanese voice is fucking incredible. But yeah, prolific actor, been around for forever, who's been in a lot of fucking shows. Like his list
High School
is insane.
DxD.
Oh my god! Everybody keeps trying to make me watch that. Everyone's just like, watch
Everybody
High School
who has
DxD.
seen it always tries to get me to watch it too, and it's like I watched like the first couple episodes, and I was like, feels like it's a little bit too directly pervy for me. Like I'll laugh at the pervy jokes made, but if it's like the whole everything is structured and designed for you to be a giant perv, then I'm like, not for me.
Yeah,
No, that's
it's hard to watch.
The other one that everybody confuses it with is High School of the Dead. Is like,
Oh,
yeah, it's not
High School of the Dead is great
Dead.
though. High School of the Dead is awesome.
High School of the Dead is also
I'll take-
awesome, but that one is not in your face pervy. It is like a lot of pervy stuff happens as subsequent action to something else. So
Yeah. It's just wow. Again, the fucking sniper shot on the tits, through the tits, the bullet going through.
that was
the
like
samurai chick doing the
unrealistic.
backflip.
So like at the
That
time,
was wild.
I was like, yo, that's awesome. And like every time I saw it, like after that, I was like trying to figure out the logistics of it, and I was like, no, wait, because like
There's
if
no
they had
goddamn
just
way.
separated and then it went all the way through, I'd have been like,
Yes.
nice.
But they move. Her
But because
tits
it
are
goes
faster than the
both
speed of bullet.
directions, I'm like, where does the bullet sit? Assuming that the bullet doesn't just like run into the other one, let's assume that the flaps do in fact go fast enough just for it to flip sides. There's no space there. It would
Nope.
it would just like flip the bullet in doing that.
Yeah, no, it's fucking wild. I love teenage me. Love that scene. Adult me is just like, this is so goddamn dumb, but I love it. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. But yeah, those are some of our favorite voice actors. If you guys have any of your favorite voice actors that you guys would like to share with us, you can drop it in the comments or in your review on the audio podcast service of your choice. Let us know. Join the conversations. So we're going to hop on over to the next topic. And our second topic of the day will be anime convention stories. So me and Vix have been anime fans for a long time. We're both in two different areas. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if there's anything different in our local convention scene. But I used to constantly frequent the three big conventions down here in Georgia. So I would go to every year Anime Week in Atlanta, MomoCon, and DragonCon. Now, while DragonCon isn't exclusively an anime convention, it is a pop culture convention, and there's a lot of anime fans that go there, and it's huge. But I just wanted us to just share some of our stories from going to different conventions. So, Vix, I know that you kind of talked about it briefly, that you have some horror stories. I don't really have any horror stories, so I'm gonna let that build up. We gonna foreshadow that.
All right, so
The only real horror story for me-
I have one really funny story and one
Okay.
really not funny story. I mean, it's funny for everybody that wasn't me.
Oh God. Okay, then let's start off with the funny story with yours.
Okay, so the funny one was the follow-up year to Anime Expo. So the first year that I went to Anime Expo, I went by myself. It was a lot of fun, fantastic. I loved every second of it. I was really bummed that I went by myself because, you know, I just didn't have anybody to share that experience with. So the next
Yeah.
year, I did have somebody go with me, and there was a mix-up on everybody's part that made it so me and my friend, we ended up accidentally getting on the VIP party bus for
Wait,
the
what?
voice actors, and nobody
What?
knew. So we went to the front desk of the hotel because they had a shuttle that runs back and forth to the convention center. We went to the front desk and we were like, "Hey, where's the shuttle pick up from?" And they're like, "It's out that door. Go that way. Walk over to the whatever the guy, the like doorman." Not really the doorman. There's like the guy outside on like a podium, and they're like, "Walk up to that guy, tell him that you're there for the bus." So we did that. We went out the back, walked over to the guy. We're like, "Hey, we're here for the bus to the convention center." And he was like, "Okay, great." The first time, actually no, it was the bus driver himself. The first time that we went out there, he let us on the bus, and it was like, it was amazing. There was like the leather couches in like the U shape. They had the little like soda spot with the full of ice where they just had like a bunch of different kinds of sodas in there. They had the party lights on, and the dude just gets in and he drives us to the convention center in this fucking sick ass bus. And we get off and we're like, "Yo, that was awesome." And then when we ride the shuttle back, it's like a regular public transport. And we're like, "That's weird. They have such a disparity." And then the next time the next day we did the same thing where we went out back and we talked to that guy again, and he let us on the bus. However, this time there were 3 other people that got on the bus with us, and we were like, okay, great. So we're definitely in the right spot because other people are getting on the bus. All 3 of them were voice actors that were guests for the convention, and we had no idea until after we got off because they dropped us off in a different spot. And we followed one of them, and like they were like, "This is where we get in," and I was like, "Oh, isn't this only for the guests?" And they're like, "Yeah," and then they just went in, and I was like, "Who was that?"
Oh my god! You should have kept going. You should have faked it till you make that. You have been on stage. You're like, "Who do you?"
But we didn't know.
Like,
We didn't even know that we needed to fake it. So we literally were just jamming out with a bunch of voice actors. No idea. Not a fucking single clue. We thought it was weird that we were on this sick ass party bus. But other than that, like nobody stopped us. We literally talked to the bus driver, got on, and asked like a bunch of newbie questions like, "Hey, can we have these sodas? Are we allowed to do this? Or what's this about?" And like there was definitely not. We were not trying to hide that we did not know what was happening. But
dude, you should have 100% kept going and just been like on stage.
We did.
Like my name is Vic Seal,
except
and
for
this guy, human.
So because we weren't guests, we didn't have the key to get in the door.
Yeah.
So when the person went in and the door closed behind them, we couldn't get in. We had to walk around the whole convention center.
Oh my god!
But we did end up we tried to get back on the bus. At that point, we knew that was a guest bus, and the next time we tried to get on, the like. I don't know, fucking what are they called? The planners, the like planners for the convention. They were there loading the bus up with like their equipment and stuff. And we tried to get on, and they were like, "Who the fuck are you?" And then we're like, "Oh, we've just been getting on this bus this whole time, so we've figured that this is where we were supposed to be." And they're like, "No, this is for such and such." And we're like, "Oh, our mistake." And then we're like, we're like, damn, they got us. We don't want to get in trouble. So we're like, "Hey, we'll help you load the bus up." And actually a bunch of the people were like, let them ride the bus with us, whatever. It's not a big deal. But the like planners, while we were helping them load the shit on the bus, they were like, "No, we can't do that. It's against the rules."
Like,
so on and so
close
forth.
the doors.
We're like, fuck.
Dude,
but they had to get on the bus too, so we got to ride it 2.5 times. So but it was epic. I have pictures up from my Facebook of like when we got on the bus, because I was like, bro, this is cool as fuck.
What the hell? Yeah, the half was the free labor that they got out of you.
Yeah, well, we got to sit on the bus and hang out for like a little bit, and then they saw us like through the window, and they're like, "Wait, we don't know you."
Who you?
Who be you?
Dude, that's sick though.
Yeah, it was like, awesome. It was like, it's
again,
like
anime.
The greatest story that you could like come up with. Like you don't think that anybody ever accidentally ends up in a position like that, but it totally fucking happened. And it was like, this is the most anime thing to happen, and I'm at an anime convention that this is happening at. Like, this is wild.
Because Anime Expo is like a pretty goddamn big convention.
Yeah.
I don't know how it was back in the day, but that's a pretty huge convention.
Yeah, it was.
So I'm sure they're probably just like, all right, we gotta make sure people ain't just getting on this bus no more.
Hey, remember last year when those 2 weirdos got on the bus? That was,
yeah, I mean,
it was a lot of fun.
I don't really have like one experience. One of my favorite experiences, I guess, from convention that I can remember was being in line for one of the anime voice actor panels. And we were like in a long ass line. And it's like a bunch of people in cosplays, a bunch of people just all dressed up. They have their bags. You know how it always is. You have like a bajillion bags, like a pack mule of everything that you bought at the like the convention, like, you know,
yeah,
shops center. I forget what the hell it's called.
The second year we went to Anime
like
Expo, we bought too much stuff. We actually had to FedEx the rest of our stuff back because we couldn't fit it in our bags. So the hotel had a FedEx office, so we had to buy like giant boxes to put our figures in so we could FedEx it back to our house. So,
all right, did your stuff get there first, or did you beat your stuff home?
We beat our stuff home.
But yeah, so we were all in this long line, just carrying all of stuff, getting excited to go see, you know, voice actors like Johnny Young Bosch or whatever. I can't remember who was there that year. I want to go back and see if I can find like old photos and videos. I have them somewhere on my PC. If we had a social media, we could do that. Maybe one day. But we were in line, and then it was like these girls who were cosplaying as like all the Sailor Scouts. And pretty much how the line was, it snaked in the hallway of the convention center that we were in. And then all of a sudden they just start like singing, right? And they start singing "I Want to Make a Man Out of You" from Mulan. And so they start, and then I hear them and they're just singing, and then I start singing, and then everybody like start looking around, and then everybody in line while we're just waiting for them to open up the hotel ballroom just start singing "I Want to Make a Man Out of You," and we're all just like, "The courses of Coursing River," and I'm just like, we're all "Be Your Man," and we're just like all singing the entire song, and it was so much fucking fun. Like a lot of times, if you're ever in a space like with a bunch of dorks, again, we are too. You know, you have those people who try.
The people that go to anime conventions, they're so willing to do like the most unhinged shit because they're like, yo, everybody else will do unhinged shit if I do unhinged shit. So everyone's like so much more willing to do stuff like outside of the normal, like being in a public space and just singing a random song. We had fucking Gangnam Style go out one time when we were playing in, I think it was KitsuneCon, and like half the convention center just started doing the fucking like the sexy lady part. Yeah, everybody's so willing to be like goofy like that at anime conventions. That's what makes it like so good to go to that stuff. It's like you kind of like with your own people, you know.
That's what's so awesome. Again, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring up the anime convention like stories, because I've had so much fun. Kind of like you at Anime Expo the first year. I normally go to conventions by myself, which sucks because it's just like I feel like I'm not talking the majority of the time there, and I'm very antisocial. I'm like not like talking to other people. So I normally just go around. I have my phone or my camera, and I'll see a bunch of cool cosplays of characters I like. And I'm like, hey, can I get a photo? Or I'll go around and buy a bunch of stuff or whatever. But I'm like, you don't get to share that experience with anybody else. So it kind of is like, it's kind of a somber thing. It's just like, oh yeah, I had this fun for this 4-day weekend.
So Anime Expo does like themes each year, and I didn't know that. So the year that I went by myself was shonen themed. And they had like giant Narutos. They had Shenron in the vendor hall. When they rented out the plaza space over by the Lux Hotel, this like giant, like 150-foot tall Shenron was there with like the fog machine. It looked so sick. And I was like, I don't even care that much about Dragon Ball, but this is freaking amazing. Having all that stuff, it's like all I could do was take pictures. But I like went out of my way to be more like vocal while I was there, because I was like, these people don't know me. Like if there was ever a time for me to do something abnormal, it would be right now. I'm by myself. I am like, nobody is here to like be like, that's not you. That's not what you would do. So I would actively go up to people and I would like have a conversation with them, and I would be in line, and if somebody made a comment, I would like answer the comment instead of just like reserve myself. I was trying to be as outspoken as I could be to really get that unique feeling. And it was good. I think it was good that I went by myself, because it was shortly after I moved to the South, and like I didn't live near any of my friends anymore. So it was like, to me, it was a really big personal step, because I had, one, never traveled that far before, two, never traveled on my own before, and then like I had never been to a convention that big before. So it was all very good. But that was also the first time that I experienced sleep paralysis.
Wait, what?
That was the first time that I ever experienced sleep paralysis, because I booked the hotel late as fuck. So I technically didn't have like I was so far away that they didn't have a shuttle to the convention center. So I had to like buy an Uber every time, which was really fucking expensive.
Yeah.
But the only room I could find was, the room itself was not bad. Let me preface that. The room itself was not bad. Where it was at was kind of creepy. So,
oh Lord,
have you ever gone downstairs of a hotel?
No. Were you in the fucking boiler room?
They had like a basement floor of rooms. The rooms were nice. Nah. The rooms were nice, but it was weird being underneath the hotel. And on the Saturday or Sunday morning, I woke up and couldn't move. Like I couldn't figure out why I couldn't move, but I was facing the door, and I don't know what triggered all of this, but there was just like this weird shadowy figure in the dark, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, of course this happens because I'm by myself. So I'm like,
in the
I'm
basement.
both thinking to myself, right now, like, hey, I gotta go. Like, I have to move. This dude is coming for me. Like, the shadowy figure looked like he was moving closer. But I was like, if I move, then he knows that I am awake. And if he means harm, then I'm fucked. So, like, I was like trying to force myself to move, but at the same time, didn't want to move. So I was like, I was locked in place, and I was just watching this, like, this actual shadow walk at me. And then when it got close, it just, and I was like, what the fuck just happened?
Okay, hold on. Can we stop for a second? When you said anime convention horror story, I'm thinking somebody wasn't wearing deodorant. They just stunk up the whole place. You know, like normal anime convention shit. Not a demon trying to get you against.
Dude, I have been through some shit. I'm telling you.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I don't go out often, but when I do, crazy shit happens. That's why I don't like to go out very often. But that was actually not the horror story that I had in mind.
You got even worse stuff.
The other one is probably more in line with what you were expecting. It wasn't exactly a horror story, but it definitely made me not want to be there.
Okay.
So the other one was just like a sequence of uncomfortabilities, like rapid fire. So we went to Anime Central, and I'm going to preface by saying this was not Anime Central's like fault at all. This like had nothing to do with the convention as a whole, so much as the person that we went with. So we, in order to save money, you know, that we pack people into the hotel rooms. You just have like a ton of people. So me and my friend Schmoop, we got into a room with this person, and I didn't know this person. It was somebody that Schmoop knew. Well, to some degree that she knew. And so we got in on this room, and everybody in that room was fucking weird. Like I literally, there was one guy who would just like wake up in the middle of the night and he would just like start pacing. It was so weird. One guy would like actively choose to sleep under the desk, and it was like, what the fuck? What
the fuck?
Yeah. And then so like the only specific rule that I remember them making for this room was you cannot drink in the room. And I was like, okay, I'm cool with that because I don't drink. I don't like to drink. I don't like to be around people that drink.
Yeah.
So at this point, I had never been around a drunk person before. Keep that in mind. So,
oh Lord.
So I get here to this place, and I walk in, and this is where I meet the owner of the room. Her name, I forgot her name, but she was
Doxer.
She was a trans woman, and I was not aware of this, but she didn't like hide it. I don't know how to put it. She didn't not like she needs to hide it or anything, but she was like, she still had the beard. She still had like a really hairy body, but she was like wearing the woman's clothes, and she said she was a trans woman. So I was like, I was kind of struck because I was like, I can't remember like if which like gender she wanted to go by, because she still had the beard but she was wearing feminine outfits, and her chosen name was feminine. So I was like, okay, well, I don't really need to know all that. It's not that big a deal. But the main reason that this is important is because she hadn't come to terms with it yet. So, so to the second night that we were there, we get a knock on the door. It's like 12:30, right? We get a knock on the door. I answer the door because I'm the only one awake. And this person I'd never seen before is like, hey, do you know Daniel? And I'm like, no. I don't know a Daniel. And they're like, the guy at the door was like, well, they said this is the room that they're staying in. And I was like, Daniel? I was like, I don't even think anybody in here is named Daniel. So I walk over to my friend Schmoop, and I'm like, do you know a Daniel? And she's like, oh, that's the dead name of the person owning the room. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, that's cool. So I was like, okay, yeah, this is the room. And he's like, great. They're on the other side of the hotel, passed out on the floor crying. And I was like, what? And they're like,
I thought you was coming to hang out. Like,
yeah, they're like, you guys have to come get her. And I was like, I don't know this person. Everybody else is asleep but me and now Schmoop. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I go, and she like literally opposite side of the hotel in the hallway on the fucking ground, just like bawling her eyes out. And I was like, I don't know this person. I have absolutely no idea how to like console this person.
Console them.
And so like I do my best. We eventually get her sort of on her feet, but she's still like a 6'6" man at this point. So she's very heavy. She's like 250 pounds. I couldn't lift her. So I have this person in an identity crisis, drunk off of her rocker. Her shoes were in a bag because she threw up all over her shoes.
Oh no.
And so this person like couldn't stand upright. So she was leaning forward the whole time. And I'm like trying to support her, walk her all the way across the hotel room at 1:00 in the morning. And then we get to the room, and this part was kind of funny and I felt bad for laughing, but I think anybody else would have laughed too. We get in the room. The guy throws the shoes in the bathroom because they're in a bag, and they're like, whatever you have to do with them. And I'm like, I'm not taking them out of that bag. He closes the door. As soon as the door closes, she just smack on the floor. I'm like, what the?
No.
I was like, oh, okay. There was no way I was getting her back up. So I was like, all right, well, she passed out where I was normally going to sleep. So I was like, I guess I have to go to their spot. So I went to go into their spot. And for the next like 3 hours, they were just like in the room crying. And they kept asking anybody that could hear them if their parents were proud of them or whatever. And I'm like, I am not fucking attuned to this. Like, this is
at 3 a.m. in the morning.
I don't know how to deal with a drunk person. I've never been around a drunk person. I've never had anybody be in this level of identity crisis. I've never had any of this happen before, and it is all happening at once. So, and it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm fucking tired. I just wanted to go to sleep. And then to make it even worse, when we woke up the next day, she was mad at me because I slept in her spot, and I was like, I don't know what you wanted me to do.
Yeah, it's like, what about all the other shit that I did to help you?
So that was the only time that I ever ended up leaving a convention early. That was the only time.
Damn.
I was like, I left a day early. I told my friend, I was like, look, if you want to leave right now, I'm leaving. If you don't want to leave right now, then you need to find another way. Because I was like, there's nothing that's going to keep me here at this point.
Yeah.
The first night we were there, somebody fucking pulled the fire alarm at 2:00 in the morning. So
oh my God.
The whole convention was just a disaster, and it was not Anime Central's fault. It was the people that were going that were causing problems, but it was still like, I need to just leave. I was like, this is awful. This is a truly dreadful experience for me, and I was like, I need to just leave.
Yeah. Because normally what I do, like that's a fucking nightmare to deal with. And I'm sure, I mean, it sucks that it ruined your trip, because I'm sure you wanted to enjoy the convention.
Yeah. And,
just trying to save money. It's one of the reasons why I normally a lot of the conventions I go to are local in Atlanta. So normally I just drive downtown, or I catch, MARTA or whatever, and I go to Dragon Con. And because all this shit is normally like either right downtown, Anime Week in Atlanta is far out, which sucks, all the way in like Cumberland or whatever. But I normally I'll catch an Uber, after I get off the bus or whatever, and make my way out there. All of my convention stories are like, it's 3 a.m. in the morning. I've just had my 18th piece of Papa John's pizza from their little convention stall that they just have in the hotel. And I'm just full of pizza. My legs hurt from walking around. I got a bajillion pieces of art and signed stuff, like voice actors. And I'm just laying on the floor in the middle of the hotel, just hanging out with people, just talking about anime. That's funny. I go to a bunch of panels, and then I'll be in line with people. And I don't know if you have the same experience where you just because I'm very introverted as well, kind of like what you were saying. Or just it's nice to be able to get out of your comfort zone, because you feel like you're around your people. So you always feel like you have a point of reference. Whereas making a friend in normal life when I was a younger man, it was just you like this? And it's I like basketball. I was I don't like basketball. I like car. I don't care about car. It's just I don't know how to talk to people. But at a convention, it's oh, we all share this love for anime. So you feel like you strike up a conversation with anybody, or you overhear a conversation. You're oh, you're talking about my favorite anime. You're talking about my favorite show. You're talking about this, whatever. Oh, you got some art from this thing.
Right.
So it's a nice little easy jumping on point. So a lot of times you make weekend friends that you just end up being around all the time. Because you'll talk to them while you're sitting down, because the food courts are always fucking packed. So you go to the food court, you'll sit down at a table because everything's packed. Hey, can I sit here and I'll eat with you or whatever? And they're yeah, whatever. Oh, oh, do you want to hear one of my horror stories?
All right, let's hear it.
Okay, this literally just hit Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you guys
Repress the shit out of
story.
this. I didn't even remember it.
Yeah. Do you guys? And again, I will preface this by saying like, there's nothing wrong with this story. It was just very awkward. But it literally me talking about the food court, it reminded me of the story. So it was 1 year at Dragon Con, like probably like a couple years ago, right? I was at the food court because I was tired, I was hungry. I was like, all right, I'm going to the food court. They had the food court like at the bottom of, I think, Peachtree Center Station or whatever. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go grab some like Chinese food or whatever like that, get re-energized, go back out to see all the panels. Because Dragon Con is like a ginormous convention where there's so much shit to do, so much shit to see. And it's spread out between 5 hotels in downtown Atlanta. So there's a lot of walking in and out of like, you go outside and you walk to like the Sheraton, and you walk to like the whatever, like it's all these hotels. So there's a lot of walking. So I was tired and hungry. I go down and I see like a table where there's this one guy sitting there. And I'm like, hey, is it fine that I, sit here and I just eat my food? And he was like, yeah. I was like, all right, cool. So we sit down and, I'm just eating or whatever. And he's eating. And we're like striking up a conversation. But like when the conversation starts, he tells me, oh, I'm deaf. I'm hard of hearing. So is it fine if we text back and forth? And, I was young or whatever. I was just chilling. I was like, yeah, I want to make friends or whatever, trying to meet somebody. So I was like, all right, cool. So we exchanged numbers. And while we're eating, we're like texting back and forth since he's hard of hearing. There's a lot of people there. And then at first I was just like, yeah, cool. We just talk about anime, our favorite shows and everything like that. Then the conversation started going to, oh, you're really cute. And I'm just like, I was like,
blocked.
And I immediately,
I gotta
we're
go.
literally like sitting across from each other. And I look up and I'm just like, I'm straight, and there's no, nothing against nobody. Like, I'm just like, straight up, I like women, you know what I mean? So I was just like, let's, nip this in the butt now. I was like, I appreciate it. A very kind compliment. I've never been hit on in general. I also have never been hit on by a man. I was so fucking uncomfortable. I was like, I just want to eat my pizza. So I said that, and then it got real awkward. And then I just like shoved this whole slice of Papa John's pizza in my mouth. And I was just like,
I'm out of food.
Right.
Looks like I gotta go. Shit.
Yeah, I was like, all right, nice chatting with you. It's all good in the hood. I'm going back to go see this panel for Fringe because I really like Fringe at the time. I was like, see you later. I'll catch you in one of the hotels. And then he texts me like later, and I was just like, if you keep it cool, just respect my boundaries. I was like, hey, I get it. The afro make the men go wild, I guess. But I was like, I'm not, I'm straight, So I'm just like, I'm not like, and it kind of got weird. The text message was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I was like, no, it's all good, man. I understand. There's no biggie. I try to just keep it cool, but it kept going back to that, and I was just like, block. I was like, oh Lord, but I was trying, just try to get out of my comfort zone, and you gotta kind of push yourself from time to time to get out of your comfort zone. But yeah, getting the hit on a dude through text was just weird. I felt like a piece of meat. No.
How dare I be objectified?
I know all my man meats. But no, it was just an awkward situation that I just remember because I was like maybe 21 at the time. It was a very awkward situation. I totally forgot about it. Until literally I was talking about the food court of me getting hit on by a deaf guy.
I can never go to the mall and have a pizza from Sbarro's again.
Dude,
all I'll think about is him.
The rest of the weekend, I'm just like, ooh, ooh.
You feel like he's just
sure
like there. You can turn around one time and he's just like, hey, buddy. Hey, how are you?
I was like, it was just, hi, all right. This is, dude, the normal SpongeBob is so freaky. But anyway, yeah, so that was one of my horror stories. Outside of that, most of my conventions, like moments have always been great. Back in the day, I used to run a podcast that was all about like the MCU and comic books and stuff like that. So I would go to Dragon Con, MomoCon, and I would talk to people, and I would like I had like these ugly ass business cards that we made for our podcast back in the day. And I'm like, hey, if you ever want to be a guest, here's the thing, whatever. And we got some interviews and stuff like that. And I've met people, independent comic book creators, stuff like that. Like, it was fun just talking to people. Like, I love talking to people about shit that they're passionate about, and when you're at a convention, or, I mean, this is another experience, is going to go see a anime film in the movie theaters. You're surrounded by your people. So while some people can be a little awkward, a little cringe, a little weird. I wasn't around during the glomp era. I was like, what the fuck is that? It was like, yeah, man, go glomp people. Oh, God. Did you glomp someone, Vix?
I didn't, but I had been glomped before.
Oh my God. What the fuck? Like, it's wild. Anime conventions are an experience. If you're an anime fan, if you enjoy them, I would highly recommend. Don't let us scare you away from going to whatever your local convention is. It's a fun time. It's a good time. Just be aware that you might deal with demons like Vix did, or get hit on. Get hit on. You know what I mean?
That's like a me specific thing. It seems like a lot of that crazy shit doesn't happen to like everybody else. I've never heard anybody else have any stories even like remotely similar to those.
If you have a crazy convention story that you want to share, drop that some bitch in the comments below. But no, I thought about that topic today, and I was like, it'll be fun to kind of just like talk, because I miss conventions, man. Since the pandemic happened, I haven't been to a convention, but I think it'll be so much fun, especially now, to hopefully get some other people to come with me, and we all go together to a convention and have a blast and
That's
share
where the
the things
streamer
we're passionate
meetup
about.
is gonna happen. We're gonna go to Dragon Con one of these
do
days.
it. Oh, if it's at Dragon Con, hell yeah, we can do it anytime because I'm here. I'm here. I ain't got much space in my place, but yeah, there's a lot of floor. I got a desk. You can sleep under the desk.
I mean, I can sleep in a two bed hotel room with 16 other people, so we'll be all right.
I always wanted to experience that because I never rented a hotel for a convention. I would always just drive and just deal with parking or Uber, or, use public transportation.
You have to do it with the right people, because like if you just do it with like a random person, you're just uncomfortable. Like you save money, yeah, but if you don't have to, then don't worry about it. But if you do it with like your friends, a lot of times you just end up staying up really late and then having like, so the same Anime Central that I had the horror story with. Before that dude pulled the fire alarm, we were watching Captain Harlock, the original, at like fucking 2 in the morning.
Dude,
where like where it was like they had the pictures like on popsicle sticks that they would just slide across the screen, and I was like, what the hell is this?
But yeah, like I think having like a controlled group of pals to go in on the hotel, I think that would be fucking awesome. I would love to do that. But yes, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing our tales from the anime conventions. And I hope you guys had a blast listening to this episode 8 of the DNAnime Podcast. We're on a stride, man. It's crazy.
I thought this was 9.
Is it 9?
I don't know. You have me doubting it now. I put 9 in the title.
I speak with so much confidence. I'll be proven wrong later. If I'm wrong, tell it to me in the comments. No, it might be 9. I
put
think
a thumbs down emoji in your comment after you watch it.
It is 9. I didn't put the podcast episode in my title today, so I don't know. But anyway, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for sharing our story, or being here while we share our stories with you. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. It has been a great time doing this podcast with Vix. I'm always excited to do it every single week. This episode will be a little bit shorter because of some real life stuff that I got going on, but I genuinely appreciate you guys liking the videos, commenting your shared story, or bringing up your anime opinions on whatever topics we talk about in that episode. It's been a blast. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us as we share our passion for anime with everybody here on the internet. Oh, I was giving you a pause to say something.
Oh, I was like, your camera like lagged right when you stopped, and it didn't sound like the end of your statement. I was like, oh, did you just like lag out?
My brain shut off. I feel like I'm always talking too damn much, but no, I genuinely I love doing this shit. We'll be back next week with another episode. Thank you guys so much for sharing the podcast with your pals, for hanging out with us while we do it live.
Like, follow, subscribe, leave a review. Yeah, give us 5 stars on Yelp.
It matters so much. On Yelp, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell so you can keep up to date with the podcast. If you listen to this on the audio podcast services, give us a 5-star review. It helps other people join in that conversation. And it not just helps us with the searchability on those platforms, it also hopefully helps you find other people who are passionate about the same thing that you enjoy, that you can talk with, that you can hang out with. It's always a good time whenever you're sitting down and seeing somebody's eyes light up as they talk about something they're passionate about, whether it's their favorite anime, their favorite voice actor, their favorite fight in a shonen series. It's just always a good time. And I'm always having a blast while we're doing this. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for going on this journey with us, with the DNAnime Podcast. It's a fucking blast, dude.
Yeah, what he said. Ditto. I appreciate everybody for popping on in. We're getting a little bit extra traction on the DNAnime Podcast on the YouTube channel, so that is exciting. We got, I think the first comment from somebody that I didn't know on YouTube, so that was cool. Yeah, they. I
think I know who that is, though.
Yeah, they were talking about Kakashi's talk with their father, and I was like, yeah,
we should
people from across the internet.
Yeah, so, dude, Kakashi meeting his dad, and being able to talk to him at the little campfire. It's such a good scene.
Yeah,
but I was like, bring him back. I love Kakashi, please.
But yeah, thanks everybody for popping on in and hanging out. Appreciate everybody who goes in and watches the podcast on the DNAnime channel. I hope that it is entertaining for you guys to watch during any downtime that you may have, when you gotta put us up when you're doing the dishes, or have us up in the shower when you're washing your ass, as Crow would put it.